ITV4 with the first of our live action from the support races. It comes from the Mini Challenge, where Jack Mitchell had his first race win of the campaign yesterday. He lines up on pole position for round 5 of the Mini Challenge, and we'll go to Richard John Neal and Paul O'Neill alongside.
Thanks very much, Steve. Yeah, super performance yesterday afternoon from Jack Mitchell. In truth, as ever, the work starts with your testing and your qualifying, and he did a great job getting that pole position. To be fair, everyone then, of course, says, well, he only lives down the road, he should know this place like the back of his hand, but he's still got to deliver.
Absolutely no excuses for Jack Mitchell. No, joking. Yeah, proper stuff. He had a good round here, didn't he, last year? So yeah, he's a proper peddler of all categories: GT racing, front-wheel drive, British touring cars. So I expected nothing less. But I reckon Sam Weller in P2 here is going to give him a go.
He will. Sam Weller, of course, double winner for those of you that caught the coverage from Donington. If you didn't, it's 100 lines. But he basically won the first 2 races, and then we had the partial reverse grid race won by Ronan Pearson. There is Sam Weller, who lines up in second place. Now, this grid based on the race positions from yesterday's race, so wasn't really too much place shuffling going on from qualifying. I think the guy who made the most progress in the top 10 was probably Ronan Pearson, coming up from 12th on the grid as Jack Mitchell leads them away in the JW Bird Motorsport car on their green flag lap. Jason Lockwood made up a place, went from 4th to 3rd. Dan Zelos was challenging for 2nd and kind of got dumped into 4th place, the reigning champion. Good to see Dan back on form after his engine maladies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dan messaged me, and he on Twitter and said, thanks Paul for explaining that it didn't look like I had enough engine power. He didn't. They've changed the engine. He had a few dramas, Dan Zelos. So yeah, he's back and exactly where he should belong. He was just defending at Donington all day. It was horrible to see.
Yeah, nice to see him back on form, but he must be perhaps scratching his head as to what to do about Jason Lockwood, who is up front. Rain starting to come down?
I reckon so. The brollies have just gone up. The brollies have just gone up. So Robbie Dalgleish in the 91, he's just leaving the pits. Jack Mitchell, who we've seen on the pole, he had brand new front tyres on. It had the stickers on them, brand new, so they'll have the release agent. That looks very, very naughty, doesn't it? Look at the damp on that circuit. Not for me, guys. No, thank you.
Yeah, but they'll pay you, and you would.
Of course it would.
Good soundbite, though. So how do they line up? Here's the grid for you. Jack Mitchell on pole position with Sam Weller alongside Jason Lockwood and Dan Zelos on row 2. Top rookie, Alex Denning alongside Lewis Brown. Max Coates is next from Josh Jackson, Ronan Pearson and Joe Tanner on row 5. Jack Davidson and Bradley Gravitt on the 6th row of the grid, followed by Leonardo Panagiotto. Keenan Dole with Dominic Wheatley on row 8 next to Rue Clark. Youngster Taylor Whitson is next up from Harry Nunn, the ex-Cooper champion. Then Ross Marshall, who leads the directors category at the moment on the points. Then it is Robbie Dalgleish, Hannah Chapman and Lydia Walmsley, who I think is starting from pit lane. David Sterling, welcome to the championship, David. Raced in the Coopers last weekend at Pembrey, but debut with us here this weekend. And William Hardy to his outside. Then it's Jerry Ratz and Jamie Osborne. Ethan Hamilton, who had brake failure yesterday, that's why he's so far back. James Griffith, last year's directors champion, is next up from Baz Ward, newcomer to the championship as well. Welcome to him. And Ryan Falconbridge on row 15 as well.
Richard.
Yep.
It's raining.
Yep.
There's cars in the pits for Lydia, I reckon, sticking wets on. This is...
Oh, that's wets in there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, that's wets for Lewis Brown. Look at the Graves Motorsport team. Jack up. They're trying to get those wets on the car, aren't they? They've got a slick off. You can see that front left's going to go up, and the wets. This is going to be an interesting
When
one.
You're a big team like Accelerate, Graves Motorsport have got, I mean, you go down there and there are literally awnings crammed full of cars, lots of cars, not just 2 or 3, 6, 7, 8 cars. Have they got enough people to turn these cars around, those teams, quickly? And if not, how do they prioritise?
They'll get it done. They'll get it done. Yeah. But look, there's touring cars in the pit lane. People are pushing cars down the pit lane. This is it's a live race going on here.
Yeah.
So interesting that there was touring cars in the pit lane while they're all trying to get these tyres on. But look, you've got like 5 or 6 nuts to tighten up. They've got to be torqued, like you said. It takes time, but they're lining up on the grid, Richard, and Lydia's there, and Hardy's in there, and like you say, look, they're having to repressure the tyres as well. So this is either going to work amazingly, or this is going to be a nightmare. Windscreen wipers are off and some are on. there's gaps on the grid, Richard. I'm looking forward to this, mate. This will be interesting.
For sure. Lewis Brown playing a little bit of a gamble. He had obviously a frustrating time. He qualified on pole, didn't he, at Donington Park, and then had all sorts of issues through the weekend. And, you know, looking at Lewis's history like we did when he was in juniors, he joined the championship and went up and up and up, and he's done the same in JCWs. And this year, if you look at the stats, it had championship year written all over it as potentially. But that first weekend has caught him on the back foot, and now he's having to take the gamble of getting the tyres changed and getting out there. What else can you do there?
Yeah, but they're all coming down, aren't they, to the pit lane now? But
they're all done. Yeah,
I think there might be a safety car, you know, because on the slicks it's going to be very sketchy, and this could work out for the wet guys.
Let's see how it goes. A massive field put together by Anthony Williams and the team. The lights are on. And we go racing. Good start there from Sam Weller, who gets away superbly. Jack Mitchell is beaten away. Dan Zelos to the outside in the black and orange car. So Mitchell is down to 4th place at the moment. Alex Denning coming up as well. It's Jason Lockwood in the yellow fronted car going around the outside for 3rd place at Paddock Hill Bend. A little bit of wipers on to deal with the spray. Just watching the background nervously to see if we get any spinners. They've all handled that very well, but it's turns 3 and 4 that perhaps we have to worry about. Oh, Druid sideways moment there, Harry Nunn.
Big sideways there, Harry Nunn collects it all up. But look at this, they've all got round, and rightly said, Richard, I honestly didn't think they'd get through the first 2 corners, but look at Sam Weller go. There's cars all over the place on the grass. It's now the high-speed left into clearways. It's a straightaway Bazo Ward. No, his first weekend and he's in the gravel. That'll be a safety car. The wet runners. Sam Weller, big sideways in the lead, gathers it all up, and that is how wet it is into clearways.
Yeah, and he's the guy he's the pioneer, isn't he? The one with the arrows in his behind, finding out all of the trouble points on the track. This wonderful blimp shot here. Look at the mid-pack shenanigans going on. Just gives you a really good feel for how close it is. 3 wide there. Jack Davidson in pink in the middle of that gaggle. They sort themselves out as they get down into Paddock Hill Bend. And as you rightly said, 2 things you got right. 1, safety car. 2nd thing, Sam Weller going out front.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's just sometimes you have the feel for that wet tarmac, but with a slick on. Sam Weller, amazing. But the touring car race, if you've just seen it, there was one person on slick tyres. That was Rory Butcher, and the rest of them were on wets, and he nearly made it. Another gets David Sterling off backwards. That's clear weight as well. There's just not enough grip and tyre heat in the left rear. They had 2 warm-up laps, but you just can't sometimes get it done, can you? So what we got? What a nightmare. No, that looked like it was just, he didn't even get on the throttle. I think it's just really caught him out. You know, how difficult it was to get turning. That's a shame that. We don't know, there could have been, you know, something on the tyre or something there, but it looked a bit too slow for a driver error. Yeah,
shame. So both of our new drivers, Baz Wad, he's a bit of a lad. He was telling me some bits and bobs which we probably can't go to air before any of our directors start panicking where I'm going to go. Harry Nunn, that's a shame.
Oh, that is a real shame, that, for Harry. Yeah, that's obviously some kind of mechanical problem. Yeah, Bazza Ward, there he is. Do you know, I'm so gutted about Bazza because I know Barry really well. We worked together at Palmer Sport up in Bedford. Really, he has worked so hard to get out here for the 2nd round, and that is just a really horrible sight to see because he's a top lad. Do you know what? He'll dust himself off. Hopefully there's not much damage. There's his car. They'll pull that out, but Bazza, you'll be back, mate. And yeah, he's a top lad.
Got another race, of course, later on in the weekend or later on in the day for him to get back on track and show what he's capable of.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his rear splitter. I don't know if he's had a tap there or he's gone off himself. So yeah, I don't know. That actually looks like the rear diffuser. That's how they look actually, but it just did look like someone had maybe touched it. It only needs a little touch on the back of these cars, you know. So one of those things, but that's in deep, isn't it?
Have a look at the start again on the 5th race of the season. Nice overheat.
That's like a racing game, isn't it?
It is.
Like a console looking like that. Look at that from Weller. And I tell you what, Mitchell goes from 2nd to 4th.
Yeah.
And you know why that was? He was on, I don't know if the rest of them were on, but when you start on pole here, it's so difficult to get the traction down anyway and not drive towards the wall. But he gets that place back off Lockwood there in the middle of the shot. But it's a real shame that he had brand new tyres, and I just don't think he can get the heat in. What happens behind for that gravel track? Bazza just locks up. Oh, he just locks up. Yeah, he just braked a touch too late, but he used the escape road to try and slow it down. Into Graham Hill Bend. Weller is gone. Everybody was really steady into Graham Hill Bend. But watch Weller up front, big sideways, but then he goes across the grass and goes sideways again. Do we catch him?
Yep.
That
was it. That's what we call the end of, wasn't it, first time?
Tokyo drift and half, mate. I tell you what, the blimp shots have been unbelievable so far, and you would never catch that on any other way. How is he hung on to that? That was... I'm going to make that a meme later on Instagram.
And Mitchell got back into P2, having been fourth away off the line, got ahead of Zelos at the end of the lap. And Max Coates, who I can tell you when I saw him this morning, first proper chat I've had with Max Coates all season, well, 2 rounds, was saying, he'd be quite happy to have a wet race. And it's, there is Max, proof of it, up into 4th position. So all good stuff from Coatesy.
Yeah, sometimes as a driver, when you say that, it's because you're struggling for dry pace.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. I think that's what...
Yeah, and he's pretty good, in dry and in wet, but I've been there, it's difficult. So Sterling back down into the pits. He's had a push out, and obviously he'll have to retire that car. He can't go back out. So into the pits for him. It's a shame that, isn't it? It's two newbies, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, David was, as I mentioned when we gave the grid, was out last weekend at Pembrey. The Coopers had their first outing. A couple of safety cars and red flags, funnily enough, down there for that. Very, very close action. They're going to try and get him out?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise
Get it ready anyway.
Looks like they're going to stick wets on that, doesn't it? So they are going to try and get him out. And because he didn't... Apparently, the race director in the truck for ITV is telling me that he did not... he didn't have the safety car wasn't for him initially. So, but he was pushed out. For Ward, it was Barry Ward. It was for, but still, you've had a big push out the gravel.
He's not going to benefit points-wise anyway, I don't think so.
But if he can, I would stick him out on
absolutely
wets.
Right. Yeah, the Lux Motorsport team busy getting well stuck in there. Another very busy team. We've mentioned about the awnings full of cars, and Lux have got a great big awning full of very quick drivers as well, likes of Jack Davidson. Remember we went in there on at Donington, and he was there on the sim, wasn't he? Even got a little sim in there, haven't they?
Hashtag lad. Yeah, he's a good guy, isn't he? Yeah, he's on the sim when he.
Yeah, Jack was actually saying to me yesterday, he's really struggling with these new tyres.
A few of them are,
Yeah.
A few of them are. And I'll just tell you why we're talking about tyres. There's a lot of the circuit, Graham Hill Bend in particular, the curb that has been cut behind the grass, it's been cut so much, if anybody runs over it, they're cutting the tyre, and it's given them a few punches. So the Goodyear guys were saying there's been a lot of self-inflicted punches on slick tyres because they've cut the circuit so much.
Yeah.
And you can see, look at all the rubbish on the circuit. That's the exit of Graham Hill Bend, and as they come through. But if they cut the circuit on the apex of the inside, it just pulls rubbish across the circuit, and it causes a lot of grief. So hopefully they don't start to cut. But as a racing driver, Richard, when someone says don't do something, don't worry about the time you're gonna save. Just don't do it. You just do it anyway. But that's stupid.
So let's have a quick look at how things are panning out. The Goodyear blimp giving us, again, this is just superb. I didn't think we were going to get this today, because yesterday, bright sunshine, as happened exactly last time we had the blimp along, and then 70%, 80% chance of rain, thought cloud cover, we weren't going to get it, but we have, thank goodness.
Yeah, and to be fair, they've been keeping me updated on whether they were coming or not. Someone sent a picture of it on their flight radar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I could see it was on its way. But, it's great. The reason we have that this weekend is Steve Ryder needed a lift. So they're just going to hang around and wait for him for the programme to finish. So good luck at 7 o'clock, lads.
No, the mini championship, lots of different classes that we can consider as we go on. Obviously, we've got the overall championship, we've got the directors championship, which is drivers aged 35 years plus. We've got the rookie championship, first year drivers, graduates are year twos, and the others are the drivers that maybe been in more than 2 years or got that much more experience. So Jack Mitchell not in that, but Mitchell leading the overall championship. Ross Marshall, top director at the moment, and he was very humble about that. He said, well, he said Joe Tanner had a penalty for an underweight car and he's got penalty points. I said, mate, you're there to take it. And it's nice to see his dad as well, Ross Marshall's dad here.
Yeah, you don't pick your results out of the hat.
No, you don't, exactly.
That's the way it is. Somebody told me that. James Thompson, my old teammate, told me that years ago. When you've done well, but you try to find excuses.
That's a British thing, isn't it? Someone was telling me that yesterday.
Yeah, very British thing. And you know, you don't pick it out the hat. You've done it. Doesn't matter what winner around you. That's you. So
Top from Eurovision when we say we actually won yesterday.
That's true. Wow.
Yeah, rookie championship led by Alex Denning from Josh Jackson and Leo in third place, and then the graduate championship second-year drivers Sam Weller from Bradley Gravitt and Rue Clark, Lydia Wormsley in fourth place. So we've got all these different classes that we have. There is Alex Denning, second-generation driver, dad races. It's great to have the lads coming over from Islander racing. Obviously we've got Alex Dunn doing well in F4, and great testament to the championship and the standard of driving that we have, not just in Mini Challenge, but, you know, through Ginetta, F4, that the guys want to come across. I think in the Cooper Championship we've got more young and older Irish drivers coming through as well. Safety car coming in this lap, which is good news. So we're going to get some JCW Mini racing, and for sure we're going to see Jack Mitchell, who's now been, no doubt, studying the conditions, understands what his car can do, and is going to be challenging Sam Weller. So Sam Weller in the hybrid tune black, yellow and white car, and then the black and turquoise car of local boy Jack Mitchell is next up.
How are these wet runners going to compare now? Because I still think it's slippy and slidey here, but let's see what happens.
There we go then. So Scott Stringfellow will bring the safety car into pit lane, and it is Sam Weller who will pace them around. Pickiest moment to go is, I tell you what, Jack Mitchell's going to be a very difficult man to lose off of the restart. Vastly experienced driver, of course, in GTs as well, and he hasn't been last, so this is game on for take two. Now we've lost the safety car, and Mitchell already putting pressure on. Who was it he tagged and took out last year or the year before there at Paddock? Not going to remind him about that.
No,
I just did.
I got that wrong last time, and I got told off. I can't remember. But look at how they're all taking different lines here. This is interesting. Now that was the first time they went full speed into Paddock Hill Bend. You know, with these slick tyres on. So look at this now. There's defence. There's attack. Ronan Pearson heading that group. Rue Clark in the yellow and black car. Look at this side by side, isn't it, for the lead? He gets into the back of him. Oh. No, he doesn't. Brilliant stuff from Mitchell. He could have tagged in there, but he come out of it. But can he get down the inside now? A little rear right lock-up from Sam Weller in the lead in the yellow and black car. But look behind as well. You've got third and fourth, and this is looking like it's going to be a cracking race. Dan Zelos wants a piece of this, and so does Max Coates.
Yeah, Max Coates in P4 at the moment. Graves Motorsport Mammon across the line. They're going. It's Sam Weller that leads again. Big pressure from Jack Mitchell in second. Still hoping to do some GT racing. Hopefully we'll get him up into touring cars at some point. That'll be well deserved, again, I should say. But look at Coates right on the case here of Dan Zelos. Goes to the outside. He's going to be able to make this stick in the Primex car. Can't quite do it. Fair play for having a go. And we're going to have a change for the lead, are we here? No, we're not. Sam Weller grabbing the inside, but tell you what, you go for it. That's exactly what Mitchell was doing, but now he tees up the inside along Cooper Straight, and he's going to have the line as they go through into Surtees.
Brilliant move, but who's on the damp and who's on the slick? Look at that, right up the curb. Weller just about got it done. There's a move on for third. Coates down the inside, contact, wide. He's got the place, has he, or is he going to lift out of that? No, it looks like he keeps his foot in, and third place goes to Max Coates. No, he doesn't. Max Coates lifted. He knew it was wrong. Max, you're a gentleman.
That was barely a tap, was it? That was, you know, you could see there was no malice in that. But yeah, gentleman, as you say, backs out of it. He'll come again. He'll go again now with Dan Zelos, the defending champion. Here comes Coates. Looks up the inside. Is he got his nose in front? No, he hasn't, so he'll go back where he was on the lap before on the outside. We've got Lockwood trying to close down. Alex Denning is top rookie in sixth position behind them, but staying focused on this last podium slot at the moment. And it's the number one car in third place, the Devanti Tyres car, junior touring car driver now as well, or development driver in touring cars, is Dan Zelos for Accelerate, and he is there from Max Coates. Max will be delighted to be up at the sharp end again. Whatever we've seen him in, and he goes wide.
Ah, no. Max, you're the fastest car on track. You look so fast. That's awkward. He's lent on that left rear. We'll get out of that, but he's left half the diffuser under the car. And look at that. He's now picked up one of the marker boards as well on the front of the car. That shouldn't overheat the car. He gets rid of the polystyrene, and away he goes. Lockwood, the 315.
He's got Joe Tanner chasing him with his new crash helmet now, hasn't he? He's got your crash helmet for you, chasing him down. Now, Joe's used to the wet because he comes from North Hill, of course, so...
That's not very nice. Look at this. There's a change there. That's Keelan Dolan, I think, is it in the transfer? Yeah, Keelan Dolan, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. With Ethan Hamilton. Ethan Hamilton's come through from the back into 16th place in the blue 23, who is there or thereabouts. We've got Rue Clark in the yellow and black car and having a good go, and then Keelan Dolan, as you rightly say, 777, just outside the top 10. There's Lockwood.
Lockwood is getting closed in on now, isn't he? Really is. That
Joe Tanner,
Joe
Davidson,
Tanner, yeah. He's getting out the way. Good stuff that from Sterling. That's good stuff.
That is great driving.
Yeah.
Some people take me to task for saying, you know, when someone's being approached by the leaders and having a lap on for getting out of the way, and I praise it to the skies. It is great, respectful driving. Bit of contact there. Dole trying to work his way past Rue Clark. Clark coming back across the track, but not close enough at the moment. They go past Sterling.
Ooh, is he going to lock rears as he comes in? No, he can't get it slowed down, and Rue Clark tries to get back underneath him, but it's closed off. I cannot tell you, ladies and gentlemen at home, everybody at home, driving in these conditions, it's like a Sky Electrics track. There's one dry line, and if you're too confident and lean on them left rear tyre or the right rear tyre on a bit of damp, it's game over, and that's what you've seen from a few of these drivers already. Ethan Hamilton going through on the 23.
Yeah, Ethan, as we said, made good progress. Fastest lap with the race leader, Jack Mitchell, again. So Jack is going to be very happy with his progress in this one. And of course, when you don't get the greatest of starts, when you've actually had to fight back, that's a pretty good race, isn't it? Rather than just lights out as it was yesterday.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a battle for 18th, and there's more than 18 cars in there.
Ross Marshall, the Beatson's car, at the back of this group, busy challenging Jerry Ratz, the Hungarian racer, and then on the outside, it's James Griffith, the former directors class champion, and great racing wherever you look at the moment. Ross was telling me that the plan is a 3-year plan for JCW Minis after rallying. His dad John is still very much rallying and very much enjoying their debut in the Formula, and it really is, he said, the big difference for Ross is moving to front wheel drive from rear. Back to the blimp.
So there's a lot of closing in going on, and yeah, Zelos is ahead, isn't he? Zelos is, yeah, he's putting a good old lap there. What's going on? So, Sam Weller again.
Yeah. Same part of the track.
He's a lucky boy. That's how Zelos got P2. Max Coates up into third. Weller will be kicking himself. He's done that too many times. You cannot do that.
And Jack Mitchell's away, isn't he? He's got the length of Cooper Straight at the moment between himself, Dan Zelos in P2. This is going to be perhaps where Zelos' season really gets going. Well, he did yesterday to some extent, but a second place better than what he achieved yesterday. Again, a little bit further back. Anna Chapman. Oh, beg your pardon, it's the number 9, isn't it? Not the number 8. That's Billy Hardy getting stuck in. And Josh Jackson in the blue 72, the former GT Cup champion. So moving from GT Cup into the JCW Minis and putting himself well in terms of rookie status at the moment. And there's Hannah Chapman.
That's Hannah Chapman.
Marshall, yeah?
Yeah, she just sent me an invoice from my hamlet from Joe Tanner's.
She's working for Joe now, isn't she?
Yeah, working for Joe. So, yeah, I politely reminded her she hadn't sent me an invoice. Worst thing I could have done.
Nice to know she started work straight away anyway.
Yeah, she'll get a bonus for that.
Yeah. So Keenan Dole now, side by side with all the sevens there. Jerry Ratz having a good look and tucks back in. He's going to get the run up towards Druids here. Ratz challenging for 15th position.
Look at this, I love that. I've been in these battles before where you do not know where to put the nose of your car, because look at this, you've got all sorts going on. Is that Jerry Ratz having a look as well? There's all sorts happening.
Yes, some super racing going on, but the man who's happiest at the moment is the leader, Jack Mitchell, 3.2 seconds clear, stamping his authority on it. Still Clark and company enjoying their one. Rue Clark in the black and yellow number 52, Jerry Ratz in the number 7. Now, fastest lap has changed, and it's Max Coates in third place that's just got the fastest lap of the race.
He's took a second out of Zelos. I was watching that a minute ago, but look at this now. That's going to be quite tidy and tasty. Coming down to Powder Hill Bend, Rue Clark in the 52, the yellow-nosed car. But look around the outside. Can he keep it there?
It's Ryan Falconbridge on the outside. Let's see whether he can do it. Change of sponsor livery you'll notice this year, and it's the CK Rail car who's going for it on the outside, 3 wide into Druids. Is that going to work for him? But he's on the outside of Hannah Chapman. Ross Marshall, who having raced Legends cars, cut his teeth in those, will think nothing about traditional racing lines as they're known, and getting right stuck in the mix as well.
The leader, if that's right, the lead is down to half a second. So we see all sorts of stuff going on the grass, but I just looked, what's gone on? There's all sorts happening. There we go, look, the leader, Mitchell. Is that Mitchell down the inside?
Yeah, that's past Leo Panayiotou, and still in second position, Dan Zelos. Coates goes through, so Panayiotou a lap down, and Mitchell has been caught. Well, how has that happened?
He's lost 3 seconds on that lap, and he's been caught. Maybe a back marker has held him up at Druids or something, but look at this now. Zelos is game on, but he's got to worry about Coates behind him.
Yeah, he's got time on his side. There's only 34 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be one more lap. I don't think they're close enough. And Max will want P2. I don't think he'll play the game on this last lap to maybe work with Zelos. Look at that, the gap's back out again, and Mitchell just reasserting his authority as they go into Paddock Hill Bend for the last time. Coates busy trying to chase Dan Zelos. Good to see those two boys back on the... Oh, and there goes Weller again off on the dirt.
Where's that Lewis Brown? Brown just getting out of the way.
Well done, Lewis.
Yeah, good stuff. But this is where it is. Max Coates will have a sniff at this. He'll think he can get P2, but I think the win is to Mitchell.
It does look, doesn't it, like the Champagne's not going to be travelling very far, is it, this evening to West Kingstown? Barely a mile or so away. Not sure if he does walk to the track. It's probably easier with the amount of traffic we've got. But it's Jack Mitchell who's going to tee up another win in the championship here. Mitchell was very quick at Donington Park, and he's controlled this well, despite having that pressure down towards the checkered flag. And Jack Mitchell makes it win number 2 of the weekend. Dan Zelos, the defending champion, is back. He takes second. Max Coates third. Sam Weller, what an eventful race for the top graduate in that one. He takes 4th position from the winning rookie, which is Alex Denning, and then the director's class win goes to Joe Tanner in 6th. Ooh, interesting race.
It was, wasn't it? Got a sweat on then. That was quite cool, wasn't it? As the rest of the guys and girls come across the strike, but Jack Mitchell, you controlled that one, mate. While Sam Weller, I've got to say, he got a bit hot and flustered and just couldn't get temperature in the rear as well as Jack Mitchell could, and he was on the back foot from then. So JW Bird Motorsport, Nick Beaumont and his crew, good effort.
Nick Beaumont, I didn't realise he used to race Fiestas, good lad as well, a long time ago.
Yeah, top man.
Excellent stuff. To go and have a chat about those days at some point. But there is Jack, 24 years of age, comes from West Kingstown, which is, if you're sticking the weather, if ever you're coming to visit, you're sticking your weather in, the weather app, that's what you have to put in, isn't it? Because Branch doesn't come up on a lot of apps.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's his own microclimate, as my geography teacher would have said.
So there is Jack leading the championship now. Great set of results for him at Donington, and that continues this weekend as well. So here's how they finish round 5 of the Quaife Mini Challenge here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. Jack Mitchell taking the win, just half a second at the end, ahead of Dan Zelos. Max Coates in 3rd, then Sam Weller 4th from Alex Denning. Sam Weller top graduate, Alex Denning top rookie. Top in the directors category for the over 35s was Joe Tanner, then Jason Lockwood 7th from Ronan Pearson, with Jack Davidson in 9th, and young Taylor Whitson, great result for him, in 10th. Don Wheatley 11th ahead of Bradley Gravitt, then Ethan Hamilton from the back, having been a retiree in the previous race, up into 13th. Keenan Dole 14th, getting the better of Jerry Ratts, then Hannah Chapman 16th from Robbie Dalgleish and Ross Marshall. Ryan Falconbridge 19th, and 20th Jamie Osborne. 21st was Rue Clark from James Griffith, then Lydia Walmsley starting from pit lane, William Harding 24th, Leo Panayiotou in 25th, Lewis Brown next from Josh Jackson, and as we saw in the early stages of that race, issues for David Sterling on his debut, Harry Nunn, the former Cooper champion, and another debut man, Baz Ward. So thankfully the officials have done the maths quicker than I can, and I can tell you that it's an 8-point lead now in the championship for Jack Mitchell from Sam Weller, Jason Lockwood 3rd from Ronan Pearson and Dan Zelos, Jack Davidson in 6th, then Max Coates clawing his way back up the order now into 7th ahead of Alex Denning.